Hey, so wonderful. This is a really impromptu live. Just want to see if it's even worth it. I felt inspired to hit the live button. I was just sitting here being. And I thought, let's press live on TikTok. But as always, answering any spiritual, non-dual, consciousness, mind, awakening questions. Because reality is an illusion. This is not a joke. This is not theory. Reality is an illusion. Accept it. It's an illusion. But what does that mean? It means it's not what it appears to be. That's all it means. Doesn't mean it's not real. Of course it's real. But it's a real illusion. We can experience things that are not what they appear to be. That's fine. The substance of this so-called reality is real. That's why we experience a real moment, a real experience of touch, taste. But they're all illusory. Even the senses from a scientific point of view are illusory. Hello, Leah. So, yeah, impromptu live. I don't think it's even 10 o'clock yet in London. Take peace in knowing that reality is an illusion, because there are many implications of this, many pros to this. There's actually no cons, but there's many pros to this. That being, you literally get to cherry pick the aspects of reality that you wish to delve into, accept as real. So when something's good going for you, you can accept that as real. When something bad is going for you, you can go back to the truth that it's actually an illusion. It's not really happening to the true self, the Atman, the high self that I am. You get to choose. That's wonderful. Why wouldn't you get to choose? You are that which created this reality. Not your mental self, obviously. Your expanded self, that which is aware of your mental self, of your body. That created all of this. You literally gave yourself a divine loophole. When it's going good for you, accept it. Be happy. You don't have to question it. When it's not going so good, remember, it's just an illusion. It's just a game. Doesn't mean, of course, the bad can't stay bad experiences for longer, but you have that trap door that you can jump into and land on a fluffy cloud of truth, that which happened to you that was negative didn't truly hurt the essence that you are. Nothing can touch your essence. You are essence. Nothing can touch it. If you could touch something, it wouldn't be essence. It would be an aspect of the experience. But what you are is that which never changes. Essence. Another word, fundamental. It can only be that, and it can only be whole. It cannot be parts. It's the source. You can't have part of a source. Because then what would be that which is joining the multiple sources? It can only be one source. This is why the religious person will say there's only one God. The spiritual person will say there's one source. Doesn't matter what you call it, but ultimately there has to be one. Has to be one. Hello, Slim Shady. Please stand up. So, again, yeah, this is impromptu. However, I say this in an impromptu live, but let's take that deeper. Is anything really planned out if thoughts that arise in our mind simply arise in our mind without our will? They just appear. If we are to be sincere to our experience, let's be real. Thoughts just appear in the mind. We don't plan our thoughts out that we're going to think for the day. Can you imagine how long that would take? Oh my goodness. Imagine that. Planning out your thoughts that you're going to think for the day. That would take you a day. But alas, or however I should say, again, you created this ultimate, yes, Sims game, Leah, for you to win, essentially, for it to make sense. You have to have autopilot aspects of your life. Again, like your, or rather, also like your heart beating. So imagine if we had to consciously think of our heart beating and plan that out, how many heartbeats we'll have a day, or relative to the exercise that we are doing, how many thoughts we're going to have, how we're going to react to said thoughts, where we're going to do, where we're going to go, what we're going to eat. How our cells are going to disappear and regenerate. We couldn't think of all of these things. Dare I say, impossible. We'd constantly be in proactive mode. This is why it's actually a fallacy, my fellow expressions of consciousness, when we say we are being proactive. Of course, on a relative scale, it's okay, normal speak. But as always, I'm going deep into the truth. Ultimately, we are never proactive. We are always reactive. We are reacting to the moment. Like I said, I reacted to the thought that arose in my mind. Let me press the live button on TikTok. I never just sit in a park and press live and talk. I usually plan it out. And this is not a negative. This is not to say that you are at the mercy of your thoughts. No. It's not to say that you are at the mercy of your emotions. No. Because again, let's take it back. Ultimately, this is an illusion, and your thoughts and your emotions cannot touch the essence that you are. You are always witnessing them. You are the witness. But you can choose to jump from your seat of the witness and seemingly become the body-mind construct that you call yourself. Michael, Thomas, Sally, whatever your name is. Man, woman, etc. What color should I give my hair? The one that you're thinking of right now. Otherwise, you'll move into your ego. And that's what makes you indecisive. Because the ego can never settle. The ego mind can never settle. It's not its job to settle. It needs to keep going. It needs to keep throwing up other thoughts. Otherwise, what's its job? Because when you dissolve your ego, all that's left is expansive, boundless, pure consciousness. And there's no space for the ego in that. Can you imagine the ego like it's swimming in a sea of an ocean of pure infinite consciousness, trying to make something happen, trying to be the boss? Like an ant talking to your boot. Like, there's a total difference in power level. On another note, I hope you're all doing fine.
I know.
And again, even if you're not, I'm reminding you that you are not your problems. You couldn't be your problems if you tried. You cannot be that which you can witness. You witness your problems. You witness the experience. Just as it comes, it will go. It can only come and go because moments come and go. So whether you can see it right now, perceive it right now or not, there is this island of safety of that which you are seeking that is approaching you. But it's just hard to see it when you're in the cloud of so-called problems. And I promise you, the more you complain about your problems, the more clouds you're going to have. You're actually going to make the clouds bigger. From complaining. I know, I get it. It's very easy to complain. We've all been there. But at some point, you have to focus on what you can do. And that actually empowers you. What can you do? Do that. You can't do what you can't do. I'm just going to do what I can't do. Oh, wait. I guess I can do it. Like, you can't do what you can't do. We can only do what we can do. And little by little, step by step, that leads us to a better place. When you've gone through storms, when you've gone through pains and look back, you often didn't realize that the things that you were doing are leading you to that moment. No, you can go. I'm doing a selfie. Thanks for asking though. Little things like brushing your teeth in the morning, eating food, taking a moment to appreciate that duck in the park. They all led to you a better moment. Also, all there is the moment. Another illusion. More proof that reality is an illusion, because a moment is completely subjective. Not a little bit, not objective, it's completely subjective. If you're standing talking to your friend and you say to them, how long has this moment been? You might say a minute, they might say 4 seconds. Because it's completely arbitrary what we deem to be a moment. We could say 2020 was a moment in time, right? Or we could say it's been a moment since I was speaking to that person. So what is a moment? Completely subjective. So the benefit, or rather the implication that I'm trying to give you here with the moment illusion, is that nothing is static in the experience. Everything moves in the experience. Ultimately, you are the immovable self, but in experience, nothing can stay stuck. So again, going back to the problems, it can't stay stuck. It's impossible. It's finite. It's transient. So change is always going to take place. But on the journey to the better place that you want to be, you have to, I suggest to you, again, not be so hard on yourself. Do what you can do. And ultimately, remember what you truly are. Pure infinite consciousness. The immovable self, whatever you want to call it. The observer of the moment. Because that puts things into perspective. That helps you see the game of life. You might have heard somebody say, oh, life is like a video game. It truly is. Where did the inspiration for role-playing games come from? Remember, art imitates what? Art imitates life. That's real talk. Art imitates life, and video games are a form of art, you could say. It's programming, but you know what I mean. And if you think about it again, how can anything not imitate life? What else is there to imitate but life? There's clues all around us. in movies, in cartoons, and again in video games. Yes, I am wearing Shiva tears. Not to mention, we are nature. So just as nature is cyclical, so are we. And it can happen, our cycle can take place in one day because we are the conscious creators of this. Unlike a tree, it's not a conscious creator like we are. It's an aspect of consciousness that we created as that pure consciousness. Just as your dream, you created your dream doesn't have power over you. It's an aspect of the experience. A tree is an aspect of the experience. Fire, water, this wind, these things are aspects of the experience. But we are the conscious creators of the experience. We get to change how the experience looks just from our perception of it. Just as you can look at reality and say, oh, Jesus is coming back. You can look at reality and say, there was a big bang because the stars are moving. Therefore, there must have been a bang. You can look at reality and say, nothing matters. You can look at reality and say, everything matters, right? We are the conscious creators. We create reality. We are co-creators. Sounds cheesy, but it's true. We are the manipulators of this reality via our thoughts, emotions, and attention. Attention is so important. Thank you, 19UWG, and hello, Outcast. Peace to you too. Outcast Q. Well, that name actually sounds cool. Outcast Q. Yeah. And if nobody has said this to you so far today, whoever's listening, you matter, you are important, you are epic, you are awesome. I'm being honest, I'm not talking about you as your mental self. I'm not. Your mental self, your personality might be terrible. You might be a horrible person, I don't know. I'm not talking about that guy, that woman, no. Your true self, your higher self, your expanded self, what you truly are, that is awesome and that is what you really are. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's abundant, it's full, it's whole. It shares the same essence as myself. You are that. Never forget, you are not your past, future. You're not even your now. Because what you truly are is observing the moment. Really understand how important, how powerful, how real, how true that is. Are you not observing this moment? Of course you are. Does this moment not include your thoughts? Of course it does. Does this moment not include, wait for it, your body? Of course it does. So your true self is perceiving from this vantage point that the body can't even get to, the mind cannot even get to. You can't find the observer. Oh, I'm observing from here. You might say you're observing from your eyes. No. Because you are aware of the whole body, let alone the sight that you are perceiving. It's all a part of the experience, not just what you're seeing with your eyes. It's also the body. You can close your eyes and still say you are perceiving a moment, perceiving experience, obviously. So perception is not predicated upon sight solely. That's one aspect of perception. So that's what you truly are. That which is unidentifiable, if that's a word. Because it holds and perceives the whole moment, which includes your body, mind, some may say soul. Consciousness to consciousness, exactly. Because there's only consciousness. What else could there be? Like I said earlier, I said art imitates life. And then I said, well, what else could it imitate? I love that notion came to me because it's so true. What else could life imitate? Imitate other than life? Everything is one, truly. Even just logically, my fellow expressions of consciousness, there couldn't be two sources, two ultimate realities. Why? It's simple. Because that would imply that something else holds, so to speak, or creates space for the two ultimate realities. For you to say there's one and there's two. Ultimately, there has to be one. And it just so happens to be that that one is everything that is. This bench is part of the one. My face is part of the one. Your words on my screen, on your screen, are part of the one. There can't be anything outside of the one. It's all one. But our beautiful minds create the illusion of separation, of subject, object, reality. There's me perceiving an object, that which is not me, essentially. That's part of the beautiful illusion. You notice me say beautiful. I said that for a reason. Because even though the ego mind can get you into trouble and have you feeling a type of way, it's necessary for you to even experience this idea, this perception, this experience, that there is a multiplicity, that there is a diversity of different things, different people, time, space. It all comes into existence from a single thought. There is me and there is that. There is inside, there is outside. That's what creates creation, thought. When your mind is not active, as in your so-called inner world, when you're sleeping, it's no coincidence that all of reality just ceases to be. Until you are dreaming and then wake up. This whole thing appears as a thought. When I say thought, I mean mind holistically. Our mental is like architecture. Okay, cool. Mind, body, spirit, you are magical, you are magical. Again, just to bounce off what Leah just said, you are magical. What did I say earlier? Art imitates life. What else could art imitate? What else could anything imitate? So even magic has to imitate life. Even magic, even miracles has to imitate that which is. So even magic is real. And I'm not saying you can just create fire in your hands. Although I'm not saying you can't. Although I'm not saying you can't. I'm not going to limit experience. But I am saying that we have the ability to create things and have things happen through our sheer will and attention. And I've experienced this anyway. We've all experienced things like, pendulum swinging or table tipping. If you put your hands on a table and next thing you know, the table is going around in circles, things like that. Telepathy, happens so often because our minds are all bubbles within the one single consciousness, and sometimes they merge together. And you could choose to focus on developing that more. Something triggered your awakening. Yeah, for sure. Well, something triggered the journey, I should say. What triggered my journey into awakening? Because nothing triggers the actual awakening. I'm writing a book actually about my awakening. was actually came back to channels. Like the idea that people can channel entities and things like that. That was interesting to me. So then I delved into spirituality from there. Yeah, the whole thing, spirit guides, chakras, all of that. But yeah, the trigger was the notion of people channeling entities. For me, that was like, what? Yeah, right. But we are all constantly channeling our own thoughts. As like I said earlier, imagine if you actually had to consciously lay out, plan your thoughts for the day. You could not do that. So what we do is we just channel them. Some people might say receive them. Same thing. How many people here anyway? Okay. It could happen. If you ever see me in the street, just say, "Hey, are you Tiger Dragonstorm?" Or I'll be like, oh, "Someone knows my real name." It's all you. I said on all my social media recently that I got my first tattoo. You may have seen that. And on one aspect, I haven't shown the tattoo yet to anyone. It's been quite fun actually hiding it from everybody. I feel like I'm on this secret mission. I'm waiting for it to heal and things like that. But yeah, one part of the tattoo I'll reveal now. No one knows. Nobody has heard this before. No one has any idea about my tattoo. But one part of the tattoo is text in Sanskrit. Of course, I had to do that, right? If you guys know me, of course, I had to go back to Sanskrit. And it essentially refers to the ultimate truth of reality. You know, that the source, is here, it's not here, it's near, it's far, it moves, but it's immovable, it's everything. That's what you truly are. It's everything. What is and what's not. Oh, your dad has an Ankh tattoo. Nice. I wonder if somebody else has an Ankh tattoo. All will be revealed. The Ankh is a powerful symbol. Represents everything as well. Again, it can be perceived in different ways, but he did it himself on his knee. I spoke to 2 tattoo artists recently, and they both said they tried to do it themselves, their leg themselves, and they both said it was much, much, much worse than letting somebody else do it. I wonder if it was the same for your dad. And it makes sense because doing it yourself, you're kind of telling yourself, why am I giving myself this pain? When if someone else is doing it, you can just brace for the pain. And not pussy out, of course, if somebody else is doing it on you. So props to him for doing it himself. Strong dude. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that myself. Oh my gosh. Oof. Yeah, they both said it hurt more doing it themselves. It's because of the mental perception. Of course, everyone's different, but it's the mental perception that one has. Because also you have to be careful about what you're doing as well. So you have to concentrate on what you're doing and you're causing yourself pain. Wow. Do you have a tattoo, Leah? Or anyone else? You know what? Now I've had my first tattoo, it's going to be something that I talk about infrequently because I can link it to what I talk about, spirituality, non-duality, consciousness, etc. You have one, okay. Because we all know that essentially tattoos hurt. They're almost designed to hurt. Not really, but you know what I mean. You know, it's something sharp going into your skin, so it's going to hurt. But what I did is I did a mudra, which is where you put your hands in a particular position. And I was able to, I used two techniques. I would disassociate from the pain by focusing my attention on my hands. So the sensation I was more aware of was the sensation in my hands. Hello, reflection. Zone out, you call it, Leah. Yeah, fine. And the other technique I did, this was actually yesterday, I've had 2 sessions, is I would do the tantric way. Tantra is not just about sex, people, by the way. I did the tantra way of going into the feeling, going into the sensation. So I would literally tell the sensation of the tattoo going on my body, I am you, you are me. And that dissolves the idea that there's something foreign hurting me because it's just me. The same technique I've said to you guys on my TikToks for a long time, that you are the emotion. So how can the emotion hurt you? You are the thought. So how can the thought hurt you? Which is the, again, tantric way of looking at it. Or you can just decide to be the observer. You do that when you're giving birth. Yeah, I've heard that. So, isn't it beautiful again? Like you can choose, my fellow expressions of consciousness, to be what you truly are, which is the observer of the moment, or also be what you truly are, which is everything. So if you are the pain, I mean, literally, I say this, like, really hear me. If you are literally the pain, that sensation, then it can't be any pain because there can't be two things. If that's what you are, it dissolves the multiplicity of there's pain and the person feeling the pain. No, there's just me as that and me as this. It might be hard to understand, but it's merging everything into you. Like, for example, we can all appreciate that we are our body to a certain extent. Okay. So if you were not the cells in your body, for example, right? If your body was not the cells in your body, it sounds weird, then it will feel weird because it will feel like something foreign happening in you. The cells just dying and regenerating constantly. It will feel weird, but you are the body to a certain extent. You could do this with seemingly outside sensations that appear from outside, such as having a tattoo. Pain, essentially. Because that sensation is still taking place in the same awareness that your body is within. I'm not saying you will have the tattoo and not feel any pain. I'm not saying I felt no pain, but it definitely lessened the pain and it became became a more holistic, enjoyable experience. There was literally, because I counted, there was literally 5 moments of the 3-hour session where I was like, oh, ah. I didn't say it out, but in my mind I felt like, oh, damn, shit. But for the most part, I was just meditating. I was chilling. Definitely gotta remember that next time you get a tat. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to talk about tattoos a lot now. Because I'm a tattoo person too. Yay. All of a sudden. It's funny, when you have a tattoo, you start looking at other people with tattoos like, start judging. That's okay. I want to get that. Why did I get that? Ooh, I'll get that. Or is it just me? Let alone it's like, yeah, I'm one of you. Create our reality from within. Yes, because that which is within is also without. That which is without is also within. In what? In that pure consciousness. There is no separation. It's like a dream. There is no within your house and outside of your house in your dream from the perspective of you when you wake up. There was just the mind, the dream. In the illusion, the dream, it seemed like you would walk outside your house to be outside and breathe oxygen. But really the truth was it was just one thing. Consciousness. Nina, nina, nina. Reflections. I love this word. I say this all the time. We are all reflections. Everything is a reflection. 3 hours is a long time. Yeah, both sessions were 3 hours actually. I mean, you say welcome to the mirrorverse. Even scientifically, we have something called mirror neurons, which is fascinating. It implies that, and we've all seen this happen with ourselves. Let's say you're on a bus. Somebody next to you starts crossing their arms. You might end up crossing your arms. Let's say you are leaning back and they are leaning forward. They will suddenly start leaning back. It's fascinating. It's called mirror neurons. And that again is where science is reflecting true life. Because there is no ultimate separation. With science, with spirituality, etc., etc. Because there's only life, so separation is illusion, an illusion. Your next album. Yes, research mirror neurons, all of you. Especially for your friends and your family members who think spirituality is woo-woo or the all-is-one notion is woo-woo. Science backs it up so many times, but science is Western science is taking a long time to catch up with life. Because science is trying to make everything, material. That's why it's taking such a long time to work things out. When you can simply just observe and know. I don't have beef with science, but it is hilarious how, the materialist scientists specifically, it's hilarious, and I mean hilarious, like really funny, how they just will keep trying to get blood from a stone, trying to discover consciousness in the brain. That it's not even our experience that is in the brain, but they're saying, it is. We'll find it. Just because you don't have it now. Literally, the evidence is against them. Anyway. Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. Richard Feynman. Science is just a lower frequency, but I feel it all comes from a good place. Well, definitely not all. We know historically it doesn't all come from a good place because it has been used to literally oppress people. However, I know what you mean. Yeah, like the average scientist is coming from a good place, of course. We can assume that. And science has brought us some good things, obviously. But I'm talking about when it comes to the nature of reality, you have to first try to dissect consciousness. Can you do that, Mr. Scientist? Can you dissect to observe consciousness, to use the scientific method? Hello, everybody who just joined. Everybody who's been there since the start. Hello, tree. Hello, ground. Hello, bench. You know, you might think I'm crazy for doing what I just did there, saying hello, tree, hello, ground, hello, bench. But I actually mean that. Like, you can call me crazy, and I genuinely don't care. Like, it feels good to, like, respect so-called inanimate objects. Because, again, this is all a part of consciousness. It's all part of you. Love trees. Yeah, trees are so epic. It's all energy, yeah, trees move. They do move. But even inanimate objects also hold and are energy. They also are life. Even a knife is life. Because remember, life, aka you, makes so-called inanimate objects. So it's life creating life. Because life cannot create something that isn't real. If everything is one, what do I need to hear right now? You don't need to hear anything. Just the knowing that everything is one is sufficient. And then go with your intuitive thoughts from there. When I was a kid, I used to talk and think objects had feelings. Was told I'm weird. No, you wasn't weird. Because the objects in and of themselves, I would say, didn't necessarily have feelings, but they were emoting feelings within you because what you was perceiving was the connection that you have with the inanimate objects as that one thing. That's why they brought about emotions within you, because you are co-creators. You and the inanimate objects are also co-creating that moment. You can't discount it when it's right in front of you, an object. Suffering with job loss and divorce, can't shake off depression. Any tips? Well, the first thing that comes to me is that, I mean, when you ask a question like this, you have to understand that you're going to get a real answer. Like, if you're asking me, and you are. So, nothing lasts forever. Just the truth of reality. Nothing lasts forever. It doesn't mean a marriage cannot last, quote unquote, forever. As in, until one person goes. But nothing fundamentally lasts forever. Everything comes and goes, is transient. We don't hold or own people. We don't own or hold things in the most literal sense because they all come and go. I can hold my bag, but I'm going to have to let it go at some point. You can have a baby, but you have to let them leave the nest at some point. So fundamentally, things change, things come and go. We have ideas about what we should have, but maybe our expanded self has other ideas. Your expanded self, your higher self, your true self, your Atman, that which you truly are, has other ideas for you that are better for you because you've changed. This is the thing about change. When you change your whole, when you change your emotions, your thoughts, you're actually changing your whole reality, and that whole reality might consist of not being with that person anymore because you've changed. It won't fit. So know that, I'm not saying this in a lovey-dovey way, know that something better can still come because you are a reflection of abundant source that has no other, that is completely undivided and whole. You are an expression of that, and it's infinite. So a fleeting moment, such as, that can be painful, of course, losing your job or partner, is nothing compared to the vastness that you are. The infinite amount of experiences that you can still experience that will surpass what you've experienced up until this point. There are so many ways that you can experience life. You got me standing up now. I don't care who's looking. You got me. There are so many ways that you can experience life that are far better than you could even imagine. Why? Because you are an expression, again, of infinite, abundant, pure consciousness, the source. A relationship may end, but you don't end. That true, infinite, pure creator that you are does not end. You keep creating more and more and more and more and more, but you must come back quickly to the knowing of what you truly are, my fellow expression of consciousness. Otherwise, the divorce, the unhappiness will overtake, will cloud. Seemingly, just as you can seemingly block the sun with your thumb, what you truly are, the whole of you. That moment was an aspect of you. Those years were aspects of you, were moments, fleeting. What you truly are is that which never changes, and that's whole, complete. You are that, as am I, as are everybody else in the chat. Because there's only this moment. Only everybody in the chat exists right now. I'm joking. But, right? Remember what you are. Know what you are. Nothing can bring you down, truly, apart from your own thoughts, your own perceptions, limiting beliefs. More is coming. And this is a part of it. Hopefully, I'm igniting in you and anyone else going through some negativity right now, depression, for example, that will go too. It can't stay. Nothing can stay. No emotion, no feeling is what I'm talking about, can stay indefinitely. At some point, you fall asleep, for example, to prove my point. When you're sleeping, I don't mean dreams, sleeping, deep sleep, you're not aware of anything. Then you wake up and you remember, oh yeah, I'm depressed. I'm not trying to belittle anyone. But you literally wake up and remember, oh, I'm depressed. When you wasn't depressed while you were sleeping. You see? Sometimes we make it become an identity. Let's not do that. You are not depression. You are not anxiety. You are not negative thoughts. We're not intrusive thoughts. You are that which is just the background to the foreground of the experience that we call thoughts, emotions. Right. I know I went on one, so let me come back and see you. Like a vibe, letting go of attachments to the life they sold us, create a new one. Let's create a new one, yeah. Where attention goes, energy flows, yep. So I said earlier, attention is something that we overlook. I wrote about that in one of my books. What's your favorite type of trees, bro? I do like willow trees a lot. Something about willow trees. They have character. Okay, let me sit down. I know I have a charger here somewhere. My phone's saying, I'm dying. What's your favorite type of tree, J321? Or anyone? What's your favorite type of tree? 100%. Death is an illusion. Death is an experience that we experience in life. Acorn tree, they throw them at you. So funny. Acorn tree, they throw them at you. Oh, that's such a funny way of looking at it. Are you saying the trees are throwing the acorns at you when they drop? That's so funny. I like that. Willow tree as well. My son told me that when I say my phone is dying. That's funny. Is there something like having sex with someone you know spiritually? I don't understand the question. You have to rephrase it. In Sanskrit. No, I'm joking. English should be okay. Or you can rephrase it in Roadman if you want. I'm assuming most of you are from Europe since you're up slash UK. Actually, you could be from Australia. Las Vegas. Oh, wow. Where's everybody else from? Manchester. Mancunian. Without physical contact. Oh, having sex with someone, like, in a spiritual, mental way. Yeah. Because you can have experiences that feel so real that they may as well be physical reality. Because I'm going back now to experiences I've had when I've been in different planes of existence, to put it plainly, that were more real than this. But from this perspective, I would say it was just mental, but really it was real. So yeah, why not? Norway, Bolton. I haven't heard the word Bolton for a long time. Thank you for that. I'm just still staying. I'm stuck on this. Not stuck. I'm staying on this sex thing for a minute because when it comes to sex, I'm similar to the Thriller in Manila. No, sorry. If you got that lyric, then you're good. When it comes to sex, um, remember first and foremost, it's an energy, sexual energy, right? And energy is everywhere. Energy is everywhere. So it does extend beyond our bodies. Hence, you can like see someone and feel sexual energy just from looking at them, right? So it extends from our bodies. It is a connection that can I say I've experienced it? Maybe low key, maybe a little bit of like really becoming one with a person. So yeah, it's really powerful. I have sloth energy. I have some weird energy. Sloths are epic. When you just think about a sloth, like, we created sloths. We, again, as pure infinite consciousness, not us, the body. I mean, if a sloth is not a perfect reflection of emotions, the emotion of can't be bothered, I don't know what is. The wind is a perfect metaphor of change. We're never truly in the exact same place. I just sit on the level. Hate change me. Whoa, that's not going to help your life. Remember, that which changes isn't what you truly are. What you truly are is the changeless. We perceive change because we are the changeless. To perceive the contrast. Oh, this is different. Because we were there prior to the change. So what we truly are is the changeless. Even if you're autistic, what you truly are, you could have like the worst, most severe mental issues or diagnosis. It wouldn't change that what you or they truly are is the changeless. The changeless reality of the change. You simply wouldn't be able to function if we were the change, because we'd be constantly in a new moment, new moment, new moment, new moment. Oh, my hand is here now, my hand is here now. My eyes looking there, my eyes looking there now. We couldn't function like that. Because we are the changeless to change, we have a seamless experience. The seamless experience isn't coming from the changeful, it's coming from us being the changeless. That's why reality feels seamless. Because we are seamless fundamentally, the changeless. No mental issues can affect that. I'm not saying it won't affect the experience. Of course, it affects the experience, but it won't affect what we truly are. Which is whole, complete, changeless, infinite, untouchable, imperturbable, and cute. You think you've had spiritual sex with your neighbor many times? I want to move houses. Yeah, we'd have to really unpack that, because it might just be a mental thing, might not be real. Nothing can fade your true nature. The true nature can only be overlooked. You have the power to overlook your true nature, as we all do all the time. I mean, I'm generalizing, but most of the time we are overlooking the observer of the moment. Why? Because we can't perceive the observer of the moment. We are trained to go with our perceptions solely. Okay, I perceive this, I perceive that, I perceive that. That's happening. This is life. That. Notice I'm pointing, but I'm never going within or being still. There is this underlying stillness of each moment, again, that allows change to be. It can't fade. You can't rub it out. You can't hammer and nail in the air because there's nothing to hold the nail. You can't have experience without the source of it, because there will be nowhere for experience to be. And you are that source, that true nature. It can't fade. It can only seem like it's fading. We can only seem or imagine or feel like we are lost. But as we all know and can appreciate, feelings are not necessarily always in line with reality. I'm not saying don't appreciate your feelings. We should appreciate our feelings, 100%. I'm not that person who says, oh, facts over feelings and things like that. Stupidness. Feelings are important, but they don't always align with reality. For example, you could have a feeling that you're looking at a snake, but it's really a rope. However, you can have a feeling that you shouldn't trust somebody when other people said, no, trust that person. And it could turn out that, yeah, you shouldn't have trusted them. You should have trusted your feelings. Okay, so it goes both ways. Anyone who says strictly facts over feelings are silly. It's not that clear cut. There's a time and place for so-called facts and so-called feelings. Well, there's always a time for feelings, actually. There's never not a time for feelings. Don't become a robot. Things are different since you had cancer. You feel like a ghost somehow. Do you not have it anymore? Why do I have dried fruit around my neck? It hasn't been said to me like that before. That's actually funny. Whether you're trying to be funny or not, I'm taking it as, yeah, that was funny. It's an energy thing. It's said to cleanse your aura, whether you believe it or not. In short. And also heighten your intuition. All I know is I was wearing this before my spiritual awakening, and, rest is history. It's called Rudrashka. It's from a tree that I can never remember the name of, unfortunately. But if you type in Rudrashka, Rudrashka, you find lots of info. You beat your cancer. That's wonderful to hear. Not clicking anymore. That's fine. You don't have to be clicking. You don't have to be doing. In fact, like I said earlier, okay, Jake, this is for you, Jake, specifically, but for everybody, really. I said earlier, I don't think you was here. I know Leia was here, some other people. But I said earlier that really, ultimately, life isn't actually proactive. That's an illusion. You don't have to be clicking. You don't have to be thinking what to do. Life is actually reactive. We are always reacting to the moment, reacting to thoughts, reacting to emotions, reacting to words said by other people, reacting to trees. We're always reacting. So don't feel like you have to be creating something awesome or being super proactive. Go with your next thought, react to the next thought, react to the next moment, react to the next emotion, react. That's what you truly are. That's what we truly are. And that's how, like Toria said, that's how we live in the moment. And the moment is where life is. There is no then. There is no soon. There is only now. In the most literal sense. So react to your next thought, step by step. The steps will lead you somewhere. And the more I'll use that word, vibrate, or have the frequency of knowing what you truly are, it's only going to help you, your true nature. It's only going to help those steps lead you to somewhere lovely. Like your steps already led you to beating cancer. How many people can live to tell the tale? That's awesome. I mean, damn, you could write a book about that. I'm not even joking. Also, don't compare yourself as well, because comparison is the thief of joy sometimes. Like me, I'm just here sitting on a bench. I'm not like, oh, I got to do something. I got to do this. I got to change the whole world. I got to make £1 million, $1 million. I need to do press ups. I'm just sitting here on a bench talking to you guys. If that's not being in a moment, I don't know what is. And like I said earlier at the start of this live, I reacted to my thought, let me press the live button on TikTok and see what happens. Meaning, see how it goes. So I pretty much never do this. My lives are usually more thought out in terms of when I would do it and being in a building. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm just here right now with you guys. And when you're not talking, when you're not typing, I'm just with myself. That's fine. I'm just with that crow over there until it flies away. I'll show you the crow. Well, Jake, like I said to the other person, change is inevitable. I'll be honest with you though. I'm not going to, how can I say? I'm not going to like, what's the word? Mollycoddle you right now. That's what the ego wants. Again, you are everything, Jake. You are not even Jake. You are pure infinite consciousness. You are whole. You don't need anything. And this new version that you're going to become is going to bring in better aligned people on your journey. You don't need to have this and need to have that. The ego says that. It's all want, really. You want your friends. You want the old life. You don't need it. Totally different word. You need oxygen. you know? Just trying to get a handle. Yeah, of course. Again, moment to moment. Don't try, just my opinion. You don't have to listen to anything I say. But moment to moment. Moment to moment. Just be here right now. Just be here right now. Enjoy a nice meal today. Eat some nice food today that you like. Enjoy that moment. Feel how abundant that is, just eating your favorite potatoes or whatever it is you like. Listen to some music you like. Music often lifts us out of negative spirits as well. Do something that you like, Jake. What do you like? Friends, loved ones are not always going to be there to lift us up. So what do you like? Do something you like. And that goes out to all of you. Eat something that you like today. Listen to some music that you like today. Do it for you. For you. It just helps remind you the power that you have to change your apparently negative spiral. Take care, Toria from Bolton. Yes, Leah, appreciation is everything. Appreciation is love. You like cleaning and organizing the home? Lovely. Do that. Do that. Thank you, Ashleen. Hope you have a great day too. Yeah, we have to do for ourselves, even if it's something as small, like I said earlier, as eating some food that we like. Now you might be thinking, I don't have time to cook a massive meal. Okay, cool. But even just a slice of toast, yeah, with some nice jam or something, like, it doesn't have to be absolutely 5-course meal. But use the sensations of pleasure in doing something that you like to remind yourself, not as a crutch, but to remind yourself, just as a reminder, that life has beauty in it, life has joy in it, life has pleasure in it. Because it's pleasure that we are all seeking in some way, shape, or form. Pleasure and peace. PMP. Again, never use food as a crutch or cleaning as a crutch, but if you like these things, or even going to the gym, but if you like these things, just remind yourself by doing them, okay, my life isn't all bad. Do you play football? I used to play football a lot. I was basically the best player ever. No, I used to play. Have you had struggles that you've overcome? No? No? Of course I have. Of course I have. Who hasn't had struggles? But I've overcome struggles that I've had from, it's going to be real, of understanding my true self. Like, I understand all is me. I understand that I create. When I say I don't mean this person, Tiger. I, as in my expanded self, creates my reality. I understand this. I create the negative and the positive. And it stems from, majorly, from how I react to moments. So I'm not some new age spiritual lame friggin' advice person who's gonna say, "Oh, I created this wonderful day. I created all these like wonderful things in my life. Oh, cool. But you also created the bad. Appreciate or acknowledge that. And I acknowledge that. So I acknowledge the bad in my life. Created the bad in my life too. That's how I choose to understand. Because ultimately it's true. I'm not saying you create, for example, an acorn falling on your head, even though you chose to stand in that place. I'm not saying you chose to be mugged on the street. I'm not saying things like that. Obviously, we could go there, but we don't need to go there. Because then we get into the realm of like being unsympathetic. But just things in my life, like emotionally or relationships, I acknowledge that I create the good and the bad. That's what helps me overcome any negative feelings, because it's like, okay, it's on me. It's empowering. Yes, you need to appreciate light and the dark. Exactly. They are literally opposites, yet are inseparable. Yin yang. I mean, look at this, guys. Even to perceive darkness, I mean physical darkness, okay, with the eyes, nighttime, that darkness, not a philosophical darkness. Even to perceive darkness, guess what? Light is still present. I know I don't mean the sun somewhere in space where you can't see it in that moment. I mean light is still present. For you to perceive the darkness, there must be a light present. What is that light? It's the eternal light that is constantly shining, that never changes, that never leaves you. And it is you, pure consciousness. This pure consciousness is the light of the moment, even in the darkness. That never goes. Understand that no matter what is happening in your life that seems to be negative, there's always this light of consciousness that just is. Isn't judging, isn't doing, isn't trying to become, just is. Just there. As you, for you. You guys enjoyed that? Nice. So never forget that. Trust me, guys, it all comes down to understanding your true self. I think that's a good place to end the live, though. I've been here for about an hour. And I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to react. I'm just going to react to the moment. But the moment right now is telling me this is a good place to end. Thank you for joining me on this live, my fellow expressions of consciousness. Much love. One love. Take care. And follow me if you haven't followed me. Peace. Enjoy your cleaning. Take care, Leah, Paigey, and everyone else.